is Cheryl Armstrong, and I'm with the Weekend Backpack Food Program that several churches have gotten together in the last several years with personnel from the school district and some community leaders. Decided that it would be a good program to send home food over the weekends for a lot of our students who need that food support. We do approximately 300 bags for the Mattoon School District, and several churches are involved.
LifeLinks is a comprehensive outpatient behavioral health organization providing therapy and other mental health services to the residents of Coles and our surrounding counties. One of the significant impacts that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on our organization is the influx of the number of individuals we see who are seeking help in managing the social, emotional, financial toll the pandemic has had on them. Stress and anxiety has increased, depressive symptoms have been intensified, fear and worry has been greatly magnified, psychiatric symptoms has worsened, and many people are just feeling an overall deterioration in their mental health and well-being.
This is Dana Tell from Supportive Services for Veteran Families. We help veterans who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. We can help them get off the streets and into housing.
Hi, I'm Janet Clark. I'm the Executive Director at Mattoon Community Food Center. I'm so glad to get a chance to share information with you about what's going on at the food center in Mattoon. It's a busy, busy place. All of this pandemic, all of the issues we're dealing with right now are impacting us heavily.
We've been able to expand into 9 counties in the COC of 515 and picked up 20 counties in the 520. That means we can now serve 29 counties that were unserved before.
Because people are getting stimulus checks, their unemployment is increased tremendously. We can't count on numbers. We do know that as soon as those checks disappear, our folks are going to be really in a lot more need, and our distribution needs are going to soar. We have no idea at what point that's going to be.
We continued to do it even whenever the schools were out of session for the pandemic, where we took them all to transportation and they delivered them to the students' homes. We also continue over the summer with registration. In the spring, parents can sign up for their children to receive it, where we have volunteer teachers who take the food and deliver it actually to their homes over the summer. It is an excellent program. I have heard so many reports and comments from parents at registration, from students that we see in the hallways thanking us for our service, from teachers who tell heartbreaking stories about kids who are coming to school hungry and wondering whenever they're going to get their bags to take home.
We're wearing our volunteers out because of the heavy hours, the extra hours, and because so many of our folks, most of us are 70 or 80 years old, and many of those folks are very frightened to come in and work during this time, and so we're depending on a mighty few. We usually have 200 volunteers. Now we're counting on much less than 200, and oh my goodness, people are getting worn out.
The pandemic has had a major impact on our local community. Hundreds of small businesses were forced to cease operations for over a month now and are still limited in what they are allowed to offer customers.
As with many businesses, the COVID-19 has caused a financial strain on us. Our revenues are greatly decreased, and we are striving every day to overcome that. Adhering to the recommendations of the CDC, including the implementation of screening processes at our entrances and more extensive sanitation procedures, have also impacted our day-to-day operations.
Our community has done a great job of showing their support to our local establishments. They have been very accommodating in using the opportunities available to visit the establishments that are open, purchase gift cards, and show their support on social media to these businesses throughout the pandemic. The City of Mattoon and the Health Department did a fantastic job of working closely with restaurants and other establishments on the opportunity to allow them to have outside dining activities for the past few weeks.
If you know any veterans who are homeless or at risk of being homeless in Illinois, you can call the pre-screen line or call me at 493-3103. That number is 217-493-3103.
One of the greatest areas is we need folks who can lift, who can be on their feet, and as for our Thursday distribution, we need folks who can be out in the sun for long hours and do very, very hard work. But it's very, very rewarding because the folks need help so much in our community.
The important thing to remind the public is that these businesses, as they start to reopen, please understand that they might have been through the hardest professional challenge of their lives. While they're excited to reopen and welcome you into their establishments, they are not out of the woods yet. Please do not admonish them for following the guidelines of social distancing, mask wearing, and other policies that have been implemented that they have no control over.
We provide food and take it to the schools at Riddle, Williams, the middle school, and then the high school has a pantry where hygiene items and food items are donated there. It's a very good program. We do it the last 2 weekends of the month that we send home food in bags with the students, taking them to the schools to deliver those. And right now we're kind of in a little bit of a crunch. We lost one of our big supporting churches who is now taking over Head Start, which is also a program that needs the food. But we are certainly looking for other churches who would like to partner with us. So thank you so much.
Although no longer at its peak, the COVID-19 pandemic continues, and while everyone will be relieved when the medical side of the virus subsides, the emotional side will persist. If you know anyone who needs help managing the emotional side of the pandemic, please tell them about LifeLinks. If you would like to know more about our organization in general, I invite you to call me, Lynette Ashmore, at 238-5719. Thank you.
One of the things that we want, and one of the things we want to change, is the perception of a lot of people who say, gosh, I see people there with pretty good cars and they don't need help. If you could hear the stories, for example, of a teacher who's a widow who put 3 kids through school and recently filed bankruptcy because of a lot of hospitalizations. She's declared bankruptcy and is on very limited income. So people like that whose stories show you they're in great need, we have to sort those out. One of our problems is to make sure that we're never judgmental. You know, Jesus said, feed my sheep. He didn't say judge them. I think Jesus will sort that out, don't you? We appreciate your help so much, and we thank you for your interest. God bless you.
Remember to be kind, patient, and compassionate when visiting these establishments. The rebuilding has begun, and your support is needed now more than ever.